Allegations of fraud at the controversial A4E Jobs and Training Agency, which is already being investigated by the Department of Work and Pensions. A4E have always denied that there were widespread problems, but Newsnight has obtained an internal report from within the company which does suggest that they knew there were potential fraud problems in offices around the country. And the man with the story is the BBC's Newsnight economics editor, Paul Mason. Paul, thanks for coming in. Well, what does it reveal? Well,
Hugh, A4E is a company already facing a formal review, as you say, of all its contracts after the DWP heard the news that 4 of its employees in Slough had been arrested in January on suspicion of fraud. A 5th employee has been arrested today. Now, the government made it clear that if there are any evidence of systematic fraud, all the contracts will be terminated. We've obtained a draft internal audit report from 2009 which suggests widespread potential fraud and irregular activity across numerous offices, and crucially, the report warns of, quotes, systematic failure to mitigate risk in relation to fraud and irregularity. It further warns that management's knowledge of whether its controls against fraud were working were, quotes, minimal.
We're talking, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, about job placements. Do we have any idea about how many of these job placements by this agency were questionable?
The report surveyed just the work of the top 20 recruiters. So these are people highly successful in placing unemployed people in jobs and therefore earning money for A4E. Now, the report said 8% of the claims surveyed were either potentially fraudulent or irregular. A further 9% were risky, 14 were uncheckable, often because the employer could not be contacted or indeed found. And as a result, only 70% of all the claims could be verified.
What's the response? So, for example, what's government saying? What's the company saying?
Well, the company, we're awaiting a more substantive response from the company, but the Department for Work and Pensions gave us a statement saying that they were made aware of the audit at the time, but were told that it had not uncovered any major issues. We are waiting for a formal response from A4E, but we do understand they don't dispute DWP's version of what happened. Obviously, there's more to say on this, and we'll have more on Newsnight tonight.
OK, more on